Tuesday's episode of Days of Our Lives dives headfirst into manipulation, emotional pressure, and the dangerous choices people make when they think they're doing the right thing. Kristen DiMera remains at the center of the storm, and once again she proves that no matter where she is, free or confined, she always finds a way to control the narrative. Still confined to the hospital, Kristen becomes increasingly frustrated and desperate to be released. She knows that force won't work, so she switches tactics and turns to emotional persuasion. When she speaks to Sarah, Kristen presents herself as calm, reflective, and genuinely remorseful. She insists that her mental state has improved, that she understands her past mistakes, and that continuing to keep her hospitalized is unnecessary and even unfair. Kristen repeatedly emphasizes her desire to be a better mother and to rebuild her life, carefully choosing words that appeal to Sarah's compassion and medical responsibility. Sarah struggles internally, torn between her professional duty to ensure public safety and her belief in second chances. Kristen's plea slowly chips away at Sarah's resistance, and by the end of their conversation, it seems very possible that Sarah will sign off on Kristen's release. If that happens, it could be a huge mistake, because history shows that Kristen rarely stays reformed for long once she gets her freedom back. While Kristen focuses on securing her release, chaos continues to brew elsewhere as Sophia launches yet another scheme. Sophia is not backing down. In fact, she appears more determined than ever to push her agenda forward, no matter who gets hurt in the process. Realizing that she can't do everything alone, Sophia looks for someone she can influence and control, and she chooses Rachel. Rachel's emotional vulnerability makes her an easy target, and Sophia knows exactly how to manipulate her feelings. She likely frames the plan as something innocent or even beneficial, making Rachel believe she's helping someone or fixing a problem. Sophia carefully avoids explaining the full truth, ensuring that Rachel doesn't realize the seriousness of what she's being dragged into. This decision to involve Rachel adds a disturbing layer to Sophia's actions, because it shows she's willing to cross moral boundaries and use a child as a pawn. The fallout from this plot could be explosive, especially if Rachel begins to feel guilt or fear once things spiral out of control. Meanwhile, Dimitri returns with a storm of resentment and unfinished business. He finally opens up about his forced time away from Salem, and his version of events is filled with bitterness and blame. Dimitri makes it clear that he believes Gwen is responsible for everything that went wrong. According to him, Gwen's actions, whether driven by selfishness, betrayal, or recklessness, led directly to his exile. Dimitri portrays himself as someone who paid a heavy price for mistakes that weren't entirely his own. His story is emotionally charged and clearly one-sided, but it reveals just how deeply wounded he feels. Dimitri isn't interested in forgiveness or moving on. Instead, he seems focused on settling scores. His anger toward Gwen reignites old conflicts and sets the stage for confrontations that could quickly turn ugly. By the end of Tuesday's episode, the stakes are higher than ever. Kristen's potential release threatens to unleash fresh chaos on Salem. Sophia's manipulation of Rachel introduces a dangerous and morally troubling storyline, and Dimitri's blame-filled revelations reopen wounds that were never fully healed. Each character believes they're justified in their actions, yet every decision made in this episode pushes Salem closer to emotional fallout, shattered trust, and dramatic consequences that won't be easy to undo.